Basketball has Michael Jordan. Boxing has Muhammad Ali. But in the world of football, there's one player whose name transcends sport itself, and that's Lionel Messi. While others chased glory, Messi chased an impossible dream. While others grew tall and strong, he remained small and was told he'd never make it. While others won everything, he missed the one thing that would haunt him for over a decade. Until Qatar 2022. 8 Ballon d'Ors, 4 Champions Leagues, 10 La Liga titles, 672 goals for one club. But for 16 years, the greatest player of all time couldn't win the one trophy that would silence every doubt, every critic, every comparison to Diego Maradona. This is the story of how a boy who doctors said would never grow tall enough became the player who would make the world kneel. This is the story of Lionel Messi. Part 1. The Boy from Rosario. June 24th, 1987. Rosario, Argentina, a vibrant city in Santa Fe province, 300 kilometers north of Buenos Aires. This is where football isn't just a game. It's a religion, a way of life, an obsession that runs through every street corner and every family dinner. Lionel Andres Messi was born into a working-class family. His father, Jorge, worked as a steel factory manager at Argentina. His mother, Celia, worked part-time as a cleaner and seamstress. They lived in a modest home on Estado de Israel Street in the Las Heras neighborhood, surrounded by neighbors, laughter, and most importantly, football. The city was divided by 2 rival clubs, Newell's Old Boys and Rosario Central. The Messi family, passionate Newell's supporters. Young Leo, as everyone called him, was the third of 4 children. 2 older brothers, Rodrigo and Matias, and a younger sister, Maria Sol. And from the moment he could walk, Leo had a ball at his feet. By age 5, he was already playing for Grandoli, a tiny neighborhood club coached by his own father. Even then, coaches noticed something extraordinary. His dribbling, his balance, his speed. This wasn't normal. This was a gift. He stood out immediately, teammates remember. Even at that age, he could do things nobody else could do. At age 6, Messi joined Newell's Old Boys Youth Academy, one of Argentina's most prestigious clubs, with a tradition of developing world-class talent. It's where Diego Maradona himself had played. Messi played for a youth team nicknamed the Machine of '87, named after their birth year. Because they were almost unbeatable, he scored goals for fun, dribbled past entire teams, made defenders look foolish. The future looked limitless. But then came the diagnosis that nearly ended everything. Part 2. The Growth Hormone Deficiency. At age 10, Messi's parents noticed something worrying. While his teammates grew bigger and stronger, Leo remained small. Too small. Doctors delivered devastating news. Growth Hormone Deficiency, GHD. Messi's body wasn't producing the hormones needed for normal growth. Without treatment, he would remain extremely short, perhaps only reaching 140 to 150 centimeters. For a footballer, this was potentially career-ending. Professional football demands physical presence, height, strength, power. But there was hope. Nightly growth hormone injections could help him grow. The problem? The treatment cost several $100s per month. The Messi family, already living paycheck to paycheck, couldn't afford it. Jorge and Celia were desperate. They sought help from Newell's Old Boys, but the club hesitated. The treatment would take years, cost thousands, with no guarantee of success. River Plate, one of Argentina's biggest clubs, considered taking him, but ultimately said no. Too risky, too expensive. Every night, Young Messi had to inject himself in the leg. The treatment was painful, physically and emotionally, watching teammates grow while he remained tiny, hearing whispers, "He's too small, he'll never make it." But Messi kept playing, kept scoring, kept dribbling, and word of this impossibly talented small boy began to spread beyond Argentina. Part 3. The Barcelona Gamble. September 2000. Carlos Rexach, FC Barcelona's sporting director, arrived in Argentina on a scouting trip. Someone told him about a 13-year-old kid from Rosario who was special. Rexach watched Messi play for 10 minutes. Just 10 minutes. That's all it took. Legend says Rexach was so convinced that when Barcelona's board hesitated about the cost, he grabbed a napkin at a restaurant and wrote, "We sign Messi or I quit." That napkin would become the most valuable piece of paper in football history. Barcelona's offer was simple, but life-changing. Move to Spain. Join La Masia, Barcelona's legendary youth academy, and Barcelona will pay for all of Leo's medical treatments. For the Messi family, this wasn't just a football decision, it was survival. But it meant uprooting everything. Leaving Rosario, leaving friends, leaving family, leaving Argentina. December 2000. 13-year-old Lionel Messi and his father boarded a plane to Barcelona. His mother and siblings stayed behind initially. The family couldn't afford for everyone to move at once. Barcelona, a foreign country, a different language, a different culture. And Leo was painfully shy, struggling with homesickness and the language barrier. Socially, he was lost. On the pitch, he was home. At La Masia, Messi continued to destroy older, bigger players, but still, questions remained. Would the treatment work? Would he grow? Was Barcelona making a massive mistake? The injections continued, every night, for years. Slowly, Messi began to grow. Not tall, he would eventually reach 170 centimeters, but enough. Part 4. The Barcelona Phenomenon. October 16th, 2004. Messi made his official debut for FC Barcelona's first team in a friendly match. He was 17 years old, November 2003. His La Liga debut came against Espanyol. He became the youngest player to ever appear for Barcelona's first team. But May 1st, 2005 was the moment that changed everything. Against Albacete, Messi scored his first goal for Barcelona. The assist? From Ronaldinho, then the best player in the world. Ronaldinho recognized Messi's genius immediately. "I knew he would become the best," Ronaldinho later said. The Brazilian superstar became Messi's mentor, protector, friend. What happened over the next 17 years defies belief. 672 goals for Barcelona. More than any player has scored for a single club in history. 10 La Liga titles, 4 UEFA Champions League titles, 7 Copa del Rey trophies. But it wasn't just what he won, it was how he won. Messi didn't just score goals. He created art. The 2006-2007 Copa del Rey goal against Getafe, a carbon copy of Diego Maradona's goal of the century from 1986. Messi dribbled past 5 players like they weren't there. The 2011 Champions League semi-final goal against Real Madrid at the Bernabeu, the goal that made 80,000 Madrid fans applaud an opponent. The 2015 Copa del Rey final against Athletic Bilbao, another impossible solo goal that left defenders on the ground. 2012, Messi scored 91 goals in a calendar year. 91, a record that may never be broken. Under manager Pep Guardiola, 2008 to 2012, Messi became the centerpiece of arguably the greatest club team ever assembled. Barcelona's tiki-taka style was built around him. He won the Ballon d'Or, world's best player, 4 consecutive times from 2009 to 2012, then again in 2015 and 2019 and 2021 and 2023, 8 total. No one else has more than 5. But there was a problem, a massive, heartbreaking problem. Part 5. The Argentina Curse. For Barcelona, Messi was God. For Argentina, he was complicated. Argentines loved him, but they couldn't fully embrace him. He'd left Argentina at 13, spent his entire adult life in Spain. Sometimes didn't sing the national anthem before games. Seemed more Catalan than Argentine. And he wasn't Diego Maradona. Maradona, fiery, passionate, from the slums of Buenos Aires, had almost single-handedly won Argentina the 1986 World Cup. He was Argentina personified. Messi, quiet, reserved, from a middle-class family in Rosario, couldn't match that mythology, no matter how brilliant he was for Barcelona. The failures came one after another. 2007 Copa America, Argentina eliminated in the final. 2011 Copa America, lost in the quarterfinals. 2014 FIFA World Cup, made it all the way to the final in Brazil. Lost to Germany 1-0 in extra time. Messi won the Golden Ball as tournament's best player, but the trophy went home with Germany. 2015 Copa America, lost the final to Chile on penalties. 2016 Copa America Centenario, lost the final to Chile again on penalties. After that 2016 loss, Messi broke, emotionally shattered. He announced his retirement from international football. "The end has come for me and our team," he said, tears in his eyes. "It has been 4 finals. It just wasn't for me, unfortunately. I looked for it and wanted it so bad, but it didn't happen for me." Argentina exploded. Fans begged him to return. Teammates pleaded. The country needed him. 2 months later, Messi reversed his retirement. But the shadow remained. The greatest player in the world couldn't win with Argentina. Part 6. The Painful Departure. August 5th, 2021. FC Barcelona held a press conference. Lionel Messi, in tears, announced he was leaving the club he'd called home for 21 years. Not by choice. Barcelona, drowning in debt, couldn't afford to keep him under La Liga's salary rules. The club, where he'd become a legend, couldn't register his contract. Messi wept openly. "I wasn't ready for this," he sobbed. "I thought I would stay here my whole life." Days later, he signed with Paris Saint-Germain. 2 years in Paris were fine, successful on paper, another League One title, but something was missing. This wasn't home. But before the PSG move, something happened in 2021 that changed everything. The Copa America. Argentina hosting at the Maracanã in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil's sacred stadium. Argentina versus Brazil in the final. Argentina won 1-0. Messi finally had his first major international trophy. At 34 years old, the monkey was partially off his back, but there was still one trophy missing, the biggest one. Part 7. Qatar, 2022. The final dance. Before the 2022 World Cup, Messi made it clear. This was his last chance. At 35, Qatar would be his 5th and final World Cup. November 22nd, 2022. Opening match, Saudi Arabia. Argentina lost 2-1. Shock, disbelief. The whispers began immediately. Another disappointment. Messi's curse continues. They won't even make it out of the group. But Argentina didn't collapse. They won their next match against Mexico, Messi scoring the breakthrough goal, then beat Poland to top the group. The knockout rounds began. Australia, beaten 2-1. Netherlands in the quarter-final, a brutal, chaotic match that went to penalties. Argentina won. Croatia in the semi-final. Messi scored from the penalty spot, then assisted 2 more goals. Argentina 3-0. They were in the final. December 18th, 2022. Newell Stadium, Qatar. Argentina versus France. Messi versus his PSG teammate Kylian Mbappé. TV audiences in Argentina reached over 80% of the entire country. The world stopped to watch. 23rd minute. Messi scores from the penalty spot. 1-0 Argentina. He became the first player ever to score in all 4 knockout rounds of a single World Cup. 36th minute. Angel Di Maria finishes a gorgeous team move. 2-0 Argentina. Di Maria cried as he ran back to his half. At 2-0, with 10 minutes left, it was over. Messi would finally be a World Cup champion. Argentina's streets were already celebrating. Then, 81st minute, Mbappé scores a penalty. 2-1. 82nd minute, Mbappé scores again in open play. 2-2. Stunned silence. The dream was dying. Extra time, 108th minute, Messi pokes the ball home after a scramble in the box. 3-2, Argentina. 118th minute, Mbappé completes his hat-trick from another penalty. 3-3, the greatest World Cup final ever played. Penalty shootout. Mbappé scores. Messi scores. Coman's shot, saved by Emi Martinez. Dybala scores. Tchouaméni misses wide. If Argentina scores the next penalty, they win the World Cup. Gonzalo Montiel steps up, shoots, scores. Argentina are World Cup champions. Messi drops to his knees, sobbing. His teammates pile on top of him. The boy from Rosario, who was too small to succeed, had just completed football. The legend complete. 2 years later, in December 2024, Messi posted on Instagram, "I love December and the Christmas season. 2 years ago, it could have been a bitter end to the year, but it ended up being the most beautiful month of my sports career." Since Qatar, Messi has won the 2024 Copa America with Argentina, led Inter Miami to their first ever trophies in MLS, won his 8th Ballon d'Or, been named FIFA Men's Player of the Year again, received the Presidential Medal of Freedom from US President Joe Biden. At 37, playing in Miami, married to his childhood sweetheart, Antonella Rocuzzo, with 3 sons, Messi has achieved what once seemed impossible. The boy who wasn't supposed to grow, the teenager who left his country and family for a chance, the man who carried the weight of a nation for 16 years, the player who was told he'd never match Maradona. Lionel Messi didn't just match the legend. He became the only player in history with a legitimate claim to being greater. 8 Ballon d'Ors, 46 team trophies, 850-plus career goals, and the World Cup. From a small boy in Rosario who needed injections to grow, to the greatest footballer who ever lived. This is the story of Lionel Messi, the player who proved that greatness isn't measured in height, but in heart.